after watching the film?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is we didn't execute enough on first and second down. But I think the biggest part of that game was the red zone, ball in the one. We got to get the ball in. We got to find ways to score down there. And so I think that's the biggest part of the game. And this game was 14-6 with like 6-7 minutes to go. So we had 2 opportunities down there and we didn't get it done.
What did you think of the way you played?
I didn't play good enough. I think you always want to play better. Obviously, whenever you don't win, you always feel like there's more to do. And so I think that's the biggest thing, and just focus on playing it great this week.
Russ, when there's a first-round pick behind you and sometimes the offense struggles, the cries are going to get louder and louder and louder for a change. I mean, how do you block that out?
I think that you embrace challenge. I don't think I run from challenges. I don't think I run from, anything. I know how confident I am in myself, confident I am in the guys that we have, how much confidence I think that we've, established through our work. Obviously, we played a really good football team last week. They went to the NFC Championship game. It was in division. Like I said, we had the ball in the one. We let's not make this overly complicated. We got to score. We got to make plays down there. And I think that's the name of the game. That's the history of the game, just forever. Ever since I've been playing it, ever since the game started, And I think for us is just staying together, staying upbeat, staying positive, but also understand that there's things that we got to do better, and figure out those things every day. And I thought we had a great practice today. We control what we control, and I think for me personally, my confidence never blinks. I've been through everything, guys. I've been through all the biggest highs there could be. I've been through a few lows, but at the same time, I also know that my confidence never wavers. And I think that confidence, one, comes from experience, but two, just from the work. And so the great part is that I thank God every day. I got breath, I got lungs, I got the ability to play this game, the game that I love, and I get to do it with great guys and great people around this building. So my mission is always to lead today and to do that the best way possible. And so I'm excited to play football again and to do that today like we did today. And I thought it was a great practice. I thought guys responded in a heck of a way.
Russ, in that context, I think you've won 130 games in this league,
yeah,
including playoffs. How close or how far away are you from becoming a consistent winner again in your mind?
Yeah, I think it's a team game. I think the biggest thing is that I think we have the collective guys here to win and win often. And I think part of it is not worrying about the stuff down the road, not worrying about yesterday. It's just being really freaking great today. And that's what winners do. They're obsessed with today. They're obsessed with the moment. I know what that looks like. I know that you know that when your expectations are always high, if anybody beats themselves up from over loss, I know I do more than anything else. I hate losing, but at the same time, it's part of growth and part of a process, and I think it's a pruning process, And so for us, we just got to get back to just the fundamentals of the game. Like I said, balls on the one, we got to score. Like little things like that. And I think ultimately just play cleaner football across the board.
Russ, when you heard what Dave said after the game, there was sort of like a little bit of an open door there for a couple of hours about where he was going to go with quarterback, I guess. Did you wonder if that was going to be a change? No,
I don't wonder that, and I don't look into syntax and diction and what like all the little words somebody says or doesn't say. I think at the end of the day, I'm grateful to be the quarterback here. I'm grateful to lead these guys every day, and I'm grateful to try to help our football team win. And that's my mentality.
Did Brian tell you after the game or anything like that? He's like, hey, you're starting week 2, anything like that? Or is that just a conversation you don't?
No, he just said there's people trying to make noise and this and that, but we didn't really talk about it, to be honest with you. So I think the biggest thing is just, like I said, I never blink, guys. That's the thing about me is I know who I am and know what I bring to the table and what we can do as a group. And it's not about me, it's about us as a collective group. And I think, if we can play a little cleaner on first and second down, I think that's the name. We had so many second and longs and third and longs. I mean, it's hard to win that way. And we still had a chance to win. That's the crazy thing. We still had a chance to win down there and down low. So I think that's what we got to clean up and do.
Russ, these are still fairly new teammates for you.
Yeah.
This is the first game you played. You guys lost. What was your sense of the guys on offense around you? Did you need to kind of pick them up a little bit? Were they a little shell-shocked about this? You guys were so excited going into the season, and obviously it was not what you wanted.
No, I don't think anybody was shell-shocked. I think we were just trying to play football, trying to play the game. The thing about the game is you can't be analytical in the game. You got to be in the moment and just play the next play as a player. You know, as you're playing as a player, you just want to play the next moment, the next play. And I think that's important to do. And I think we embraced that. I think we took on that challenge. And we got to do it again this week. We know that it's going to be tough weeks every week, and teams got to play us too. And it's a two-way street. And we got to set the tone this week, coming out playing a really good football team in Dallas.
How does mental toughness manifest itself in a given week for you guys coming out of that game?
Yeah, I think language is everything. You know, what you say in your internal language, internal dialogue, as a player, as a group, as an offense, as a defense, as a team, special teams, offense, everybody together as a building, all that matters. I think Coach Dave spoke today, did a great job of that. I think us as players connecting and talking and just not, you know, there's never been a team win the Super Bowl that goes 17-0. That's just the truth, and that's facts. You know, so you got to be able to respond and know that it's going to be, you know, a season of ups and downs. Hopefully, a lot more ups, a lot of highs. We believe in that, and we believe in that, and it's not make believe. I've been on a lot of teams, and you know, of great winning teams. You know, and I think when you think about the great winning teams, it's never just easy. It's never just a you know, walk in the park. You got to play. These are really good football players on both sides. You know, and so we understand that, you know, it's going to be a battle every week, and you got to, you know, it's a 17-round fight, and we got to go win round 2, and that's what's important right now. When you're boxing, you're fighting, and you're playing, and you know, you can't think about round 10 or round 15. You got to think about round 2, and so I think that's what's important right now for us.
Russ, Malik was talking earlier before you came in about you know, his sideline demeanor. You know, that got some attention. Seeing him and Dave's going at it. He says, "I have natural face." That's what he said. You know what I mean? And you know, maybe he's got a. I mean, does sideline demeanor matter? You know, what I mean, does that? Do you look at that and say, well, yeah, that's not a good look for me. Just yelling at the coach or things like that.
I don't think they were yelling at each other. I think that, you know, we're competitive individuals. You know, like this is a game that's a passionate game. This isn't always high fives and always, you know, smiles all the time. You know, but I think that you know, Nabes is a great competitor. I thought he competed his butt off. He's a great teammate. I mean, I just think about, you know, we have our Tuesday meetings, all the guys come together and everything else, and he's one of the first guys there, ready to go, ready to rock and roll, ready to study, be on his stuff. He's working his tail off. He's getting all the treatment. He's ready to play. You know, and you know, and I think a lot of it is you know, in the midst of the moments of the game. You know, there's the great competitors I've always been around. There's always a little moment every once in a while. You know, so. I think you want that, you know, if you're not passionate about the game at all, you know, and so I love it. I love him as a teammate. I love him as a leader. I love him his engagement on the field and the huddle, in the locker room. He's special, and you know, he's a great teammate, great friend, and a great competitor.
Russ, you mentioned having that focus on every rep every day.
Yep.
Is there any extra urgency there when you're coming off a loss to avoid going 0-2?
Yeah, I think the thing about the National Football League is you always want to be able to respond, you know, the right way. And I think it, you know, it really shouldn't change. It should always be high. You know, like I think when you win one, you got to be able to repeat it. And if you lose one, okay, cut it off and make sure that we find ways to win the next game. You got to play the next game. The next game's a history of its own. It's not the game from before, and so. I think that's important, but I think there's always a sense of urgency, right? It's in division. It's a game that you're going on the road. You know, it's a great crowd. You know, a tough environment. All those things. They got great players too, and so I think all of that is just the response of loving the game and loving the process and loving our football team. And I think that's what's really matters right now is to capture that every play in our practice. And I thought, like once again, I thought we did a tremendous job of that today. And it started with Monday and Tuesday. It didn't just start today. It started with how we processed, how we took in the film, what we learned, what we studied, what we can get better at, and then you clean the slate. You here go and do it again, and let's go back to studying and learning and on Tuesday and practicing on Wednesday. So I think tomorrow will be an important day. Tonight will be an important night, just to study and get ready for third down and red zone and all those things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching our response. We got the right character guys and the right competitors.
What's your message to your teammates in terms of how to turn the page, how to put that stuff in the rearview mirror quickly?
You got to have amnesia. You know, I think, I don't know, it's the baseball probably in me maybe a little bit, but I think you got to be able to look at the next pitch, you know, and I think part of that is, like I said earlier, you know, real winners, they're able to understand that the games that you just won, you're able to wipe the slate and do it and clean it up. And then real winners. If you lose a tough one, you're able to wipe the slate and get back to work. And so we're trying to capture that daily, and I think that's part of my job too, is to help lead that in every way. And so, like I said, I thought we had a tremendous response. We got a lot of great leaders, a lot of great competitors, a lot of guys that are really talented. And so I thought the coaches did a great job this week too, and so far, and we got more to do.